Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Namaskar. Welcome to PT Pointers. And in this video, we will cover major headlines of the Hindu, Indian Express, and Press Information Bureau. So, without wasting any time, let's start today's discussion. And our first headline is related to surrogacy, which is a practice where a woman gives birth to a child for an intended couple with the intention to hand it over to them after the birth. It is permitted only for altruistic purposes or for couples who suffer proven infertility or disease. Surrogacy is prohibited for commercial purposes, including for sale, prostitutions, or any forms of exploitation. Now, who can avail of surrogacy? So friends, a couple is deemed eligible if they have married for 5 years and the wife is aged between 25 to 50 years and husband is between 26 to 55 years, and couple must not have any living child, which includes biological, adopted, or surrogate. Now, who can be a surrogate? So friends, a surrogate mother has to be a close relative of the couple and she should be a married woman with a child of her own aged between 25 to 35 years, and she must also possesses a certificate of medical and psychological fitness for surrogacy. Now, recently, Delhi High Court sought the center's response on the age limit for surrogacy. Our next headline is related to Bocha Sanvasi Akshar Purushottam Swaminarayan Sanstha Temple, which is recently inaugurated by Prime Minister of India. It is first Hindu stone temple of Abu Dhabi. Our next headline is related to business payment solution providers, which are regulated and licensed by Reserve Bank of India under the Payment Aggregators and Payment Gateway Guidelines, and they allow small businesses to accept card payments without having the required mechanism in place. And recently, Reserve Bank of India has asked card networks such as Visa and MasterCard to stop commercial card transactions under business payment solution providers on concerns regarding legitimacy and inadequacy of merchant KYC and end use of funds. Our next headline is related to Electoral Bond Scheme, which was notified in 2018. It is a bearer instrument in the nature of a promissory note and an interest-free banking instrument. A citizen of India or a body incorporated in India will be eligible to purchase the bond. A person being an individual can buy electoral bonds either singly or jointly with other individuals. Only the political parties registered under Section 29A of the Representation of People Act 1951 and which secured not less than 1% of the votes polled in the last general elections to the House of People or the Legislative Assembly of the state shall be eligible to receive the electoral bonds. They are sold in multiples of 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh and rupees 1 crore, and State Bank of India is the only bank authorized to sell them. And it is in the news because today Supreme Court will deliver the verdict on validity of electoral bond scheme. Our next headline is related to INSAT 3DS satellite, which will be launched by ISRO on 17th Feb. It is a follow-on mission of third generation meteorological satellite from geostationary orbit. It is fully funded by the Ministry of Earth Sciences and it will be deployed by geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle. It is designed for enhanced meteorological observations and monitoring of land and ocean surfaces for weather forecasting and disaster warning. Our next headline is related to multilateral naval exercise, also known as Millan, which is hosted by India and it was started in 1995 in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and in the first edition, navies of Indonesia, Singapore, Sri Lanka and Thailand participated. It is a biennial congregation of friendly navies, and the previous edition, Millan 2022, was held in Visakhapatnam and it observed participation of 39 friendly foreign countries across the continents, and Millan 2024 is scheduled at Visakhapatnam from 19th Feb to 27th Feb under the aegis of Eastern Naval Command with invitation extended to 58 countries. Our next headline is related to Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund Scheme, which was launched in 2020 by Prime Minister under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. It has been approved for incentivizing investments by individual entrepreneurs, private companies, MSME, and farmer producer organizations. And it is in the news because recently Union Minister of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying launched the realigned Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund scheme, and now the dairy cooperatives will avail benefits of interest subvention of 3%. Our next headline is related to 16th Finance Commission, which held its first meeting under the chairmanship of Dr. Arvind Panagadia. Now let's know more about Finance Commission. So friends, it is a constitutional body formed by the President of India under under Article 280 of the Constitution to give suggestions on center-state financial relations. Its primary job is to recommend measures and methods on how revenues need to be distributed between center and states and among states themselves. And the chairman of the commission is selected among persons who have had experience in public affairs, and 4 other members are selected from among persons who are or have been or qualified to be appointed as judges of a high court or have a special knowledge of the finances and accounts of the government, or have had wide experience of financial matters and in administration, or have a special knowledge of economics. Our next and last headline is related to Sea of Japan, which is the marginal sea of the Western Pacific Ocean. It is bounded by Japan, Sakhalin Island, Russia, Korea. Now it is in the news because recently North Korea launched multiple cruise missiles into Sea of Japan. So with this, let's conclude our today's discussion. Thanks for listening, and for regular updates, you can follow us on various social media platforms.